And then you need to make a decision. Is marijuana worth 10 years prison potentially? If the answer is yes, then just let me know and we'll see about accommodating your 10 years. And when you go to prison, when people ask you, why were you here? You can tell them, the mean judge sent me to prison for 10 years for using marijuana.
In and out, the verdict's wrong. Uchi car watch, we've just begun. Uchi car watch, we're on the scene. Truth's unraveling, what does it mean? In the halls,
Andre Moody? Sure. All right, Mr. Moody,
Yes, ma'am.
do you want to be on probation for the rest of your life or end up going to prison?
No, ma'am.
So, one, you got to stop using marijuana. I know people think marijuana is not a big deal, but in Texas, it still is a big deal. And you cannot use marijuana while on probation, and you cannot drink alcohol while on probation. Those are the rules. That's the law. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you continue to use marijuana, that tells me that you want to go to prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a case. Let me see. You're on deferred adjudication, so you're looking up to 10 years in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So they're requesting that you do intensive outpatient treatment, that you restart it. If you missed your classes for intensive outpatient treatment, you know what that tells me? Maybe you want to go to prison. And if you get sent to prison, how long could you possibly go for? 10 years. Do you want to go to prison for 10 years? All right, if you don't want to go to prison, then you had better start doing what's being asked of you on probation. You understand? And if you're tested today, are you going to be positive? When's the last time you used marijuana?
Probably like a month and a half.
All right, they're going to test you today.
Is there no confusion?
Yes.
Okay, so we just have a few concerns.
Mhm.
The test that was done right before Christmas on 12/20 tested positive for marijuana.
Mhm.
The other concerns are he has been on probation since 2020,
Mhm.
and it appears that all of his classes are outstanding.
So
Hasn't done like a BIP class or his parenting classes or anything like that.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a reset for me to get an update on this. I'm going to reset you in a month.
Yes,
And if
ma'am.
you have not started those classes by that time, probation, I'm gonna ask that a motion to revoke be filed. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had better start. We're not doing this thing. You've been on since 2020 and have done nothing. It's like you're not even on probation. You're just living your life. And guess what? You don't get to just live your life when you're on probation because you have a contract. You understand? So, Ms. Abrams, if we set this for an update for me in February, would that give him enough time to have started the classes?
Yes, Judge.
All right, what date do you recommend we come back in February?
Of the second week, right?
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this for the week of February 5th?
I can do.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
All right, we're gonna come back on February 8th, and you had better not miss another class. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you need to make a decision. Is marijuana worth 10 years prison potentially? If the answer is yes, then just let me know and we'll see about accommodating your 10 years. And when you go to prison, when people ask you, why were you here? You can tell them, the mean judge sent me to prison for 10 years for using marijuana. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, thank you. Hello,
How you doing?
how are you doing?
Fine.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're doing well because you're before me,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're not before me because you've been successful. And you're not before me because you have questions. You're before me because I have questions and probation has questions. All right, let me ask you this. If you're revoked on this, how much time could you do in prison? No. everybody will say, I can't do any time in prison. You know, somebody would tell this story for us this is when I first started out. They said the judge asked the defendant, so how much time could you do in prison? Just let me know. And you know what they said? The defendant told him, oh, I can do 2 days. And you know what the judge told him? You know what? You just look at every time as 2 days increments. And you know what that judge did? Sent that person to prison for 30 years. So on this case, how much time could I send you to prison for?
How much you can?
Yeah.
10 years?
10 years?
Ma'am.
Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to go to prison because you are not doing what you're supposed to do?
Right.
And people, well, you're acting as though you do because people are working with you. And it says your counselor contacted you and said you missed your group session.
Ma'am.
And then the counselor said, look, I will let you make up those sessions. And your answer to this counselor, knowing you could go to prison for 10 years was, I don't think I can do that. So do you think you can do 10 years in prison?
No, ma'am.
Then why are you acting like you can?
I live in Universal City, ma'am, and recently I've been just struggling. You know, I've lost my job because of transportation, getting back and forth. There's no public transportation in Universal City. Mr. Sheldon is a wonderful counselor. You know, I did go set up that meeting with him again because he helps me a lot. You know, I just wasn't able to. I'm not able to move, like get to places. You know, so
Who do you know in Universal City?
I have a roommate. I don't have no family out here. All my family has passed away. I'm from California, you know, so I don't really have people here. You know, I don't have any help. I've been paying $400 every 2 weeks at where I'm staying just to live there, you know, and then I've been catching Uber and live back and forth to work to get there. And then that's a lot of money, you know, I don't have it, you know, and then I've been trying to do it. I could get to places, you know, like today I walked from Universal City to Converse to catch the bus to get here today. But I don't have like funds. Like I'm just getting backed up and on everything, and everything is kind of like coming at me at one time. And I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't have no help. You know, I don't have nothing.
How old are you?
30, about to be 31 next month.
You'll be asked to step
I'll be-
outside.
I'll be
Just 1
31.
second, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is talking to the inmates like this is visitation? Who is it? Deputy Lord, who was it?
It's that lady with the dark hair.
Excuse me. Hi, miss. I'm gonna need you to step outside the courtroom. All right.
I'll be 30.
Yes.
I'll be 31 next month.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be 31.
All
next
right,
month.
so you're gonna have to sit down with somebody. And by somebody, I mean probation will help you. You're going to have to get employment and figure out a budget.
I do, I have income tax. I was working all last year. I have income tax coming February 26th. That's going
Well,
to,
I hope you didn't have somebody do your income tax where they take
no,
a
ma'am.
major percentage of it and then,
I don't know. I just filed, you know, I file with her every year. You know, I work every year. Yes, ma'am. And
all right, so he's saying he lives in Universal City. Are we aware of him living in Universal City? Did you let them know you lived in Universal City?
No.
So, state, this appears to be his issue. He doesn't have any transportation.
I was able to obtain my license. I've been working on that. I did get a car, but the next day it had a blown head gasket, so I lost it and I lost my money. So that kind of set me back as well, you know. And I've been trying to get a car like the right way because that's why I really got my license and did that because I didn't want to get another car that was going to go bad on me. So I got my license and trying to do it. the
All right, and they
way.
say you worked full-time at Hooters, or you did? What do you do at Hooters?
Cook.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Ms. Abrams,
Yes, Judge.
they're asking for him to restart IOP.
Yes, Judge. That is the recommendation. And additionally for them to restart IOP, I do want to ensure that he is enrolled in his VIP course at least by the either end of the month or, you know, mid-March.
Okay.
Ma'am, I tried to enroll into the BIB class online due to my transportation issues, but it was $195 to enroll. I didn't have the money, you know, I enrolled in Mr. Sheldon's class.
All right. And see, here's the thing. I understand how finances are hitting you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you know why these financial issues are hitting you and you gotta still just deal with it? Because these are consequences for your offense.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you would not have committed this offense, guess what?
I wouldn't be in this
You wouldn't be
situation.
here. Ms. Abrams, with regards to enrollment in BIP, he says he's getting his income tax, so we can give him till March 28th to enroll in BIP. You drug tested today. What are the results gonna be?
Did enjoy.
All right, so we're gonna drug test him today.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that his last drug test was positive for marijuana back in December. So we can see if that's out of the system by now.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna get drug tested today,
Ma'am.
and we're gonna see what the results are. And if the results are positive, we're gonna have another conversation. But for now, he's enrolling the BIP on March 28th, and he's to restart IOP. So you're still telling me it's gonna be negative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Abrams?
No, Judge.
All right, just sit there. Do you need any water or anything?
Yes, please.
All right, just have a seat. So we're not on the record. When's the last time you used marijuana?
I haven't used it since December.
No, I mean, unless something is wrong with the laws of
Right.
physics and the time continuum has changed, you should not be positive for marijuana if the last time you used is in December. So let me just tell you something right now. You're on probation out of this court. If you want to continue to use marijuana, you're an adult, that's up to you. But using marijuana while you're on probation is not allowed. It's against your conditions of probation. And guess what? You may or may not end up going to prison for 10 years. And when people ask you why you're at the prison for 10 years, you can tell them because you wanted to use marijuana. And I'm sure at the prison, there's a way that people can make their marijuana. I know there's a way that people can make their alcohol if they so choose to imbibe, but you will be at the prison. And guess what? At the prison, you don't have to worry about catching but one bus. And you know what that bus is? The bus from the jail to the prison. So I am not going to tolerate any more excuses from you. Because if you can find time to do marijuana, you can find time to get to Universal City. I don't want to hear this nonsense about I had to walk from Universal City to Converse, because guess what? Those are consequences from being on probation. You need to get a job, and in your job, you need to include reporting to probation and doing your treatment. You should have been done with treatment, but no, you're missing classes. Any other place, guess what they would have done? Maybe issued a warrant for your arrest instead of having this conversation, and you'll be taken into custody and you will be brought out wearing orange or red, whichever category they put you in. Do you understand? And if the roommate you're living with is allowing you to use marijuana where you all live, then that's not a good roommate. But I am not going to tolerate any more nonsense with you not following through on what you need to do. This is the last conversation we're going to have, the last compliance we're going to have. If I get another report and everything is in order, I'm going to sign it. And when I sign it, it's going to be for a motion to revoke. You will have to make bond. If you don't make bond, you'll be brought over and we will hear the allegations. Either they're going to be true or not true. And if they're true, you're looking at potentially 10 years in prison. So it's up to you to make the decision of whether or not marijuana is worth 10 years of your life, potentially, or 1 year, or 5 days. You understand? So do not come back here before trying to get tea and sympathy for me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Who's here on Andre Moody? All right, where's Mr. Moody? Come down. All right, is this still going to be a contested or no?
No, Judge. No, we have an agreement, Judge.
All right. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Alonzo Moody. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Christian
Defense?
Vega for the defense.
Are you Mr. Moody?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Andre Alonzo Moody who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 8716 for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation on June 24th, 2020 for a period of 6 years and extended for a total of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Moving forward with condition number 2, on or about the 24th day of April 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Andre Alonzo Moody did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the board in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
The state will be waiving and abandoning the remaining conditions.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge, we ask the court grant the motion or deny the motion, enter adjudication of guilt, and sentence him to 6 years, probated by 6 years.
All right, so is this the proposed agreement?
Yes.
Why? Why should I do this? He's been here before on a motion to revoke. This is not his first motion to revoke. And the court has addressed issues with him and addressed issues with him. And nothing is happening. We're still here. I've even extended him. So I don't understand why he shouldn't be revoked.
Judge, he has completed those courses. I think he was gonna do another round of BIP as well. This would be a conviction for the state.
Why would he do another round of BIP?
It was open there on the court summary. I know that he completed the first one. That's what it reflects.
All right, in his motion to revoke, I'm not considering it, but he has a violation of condition number 1. What's happened to that case?
That's supposed to be rejected.
All right, is it being rejected because he's entering a plea to violation of condition number 2?
No, independently.
Yes, that's my understanding between the conversations that
I still don't understand. Why should he be continued? Probation
Yes, sir.
on Mr. Moody. What is probation's recommendation? All right. So I don't understand why it should continue him.
It's a revocation and then putting him back on probation, straight probation. 6/6, but I think, oh, was it because in this beginning, the state had mentioned denying the motion? They
No.
meant grant.
No, here's my problem. He's been on probation before. A motion to revoke was filed before. He was continued. Now we're back here again for another motion to revoke. And I'm being requested to continue him. I don't understand why I should continue him. It doesn't appear that he's being successful.
For a master.
No, I mean, nobody wants to go to prison. Everybody asks to be continued. I'm just trying to figure out why should I continue you when we've been here before?
For,
You want to raise your right hand? You
Yes.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Andre Moody.
Why are you not taking your drug test? Because that's what you pled not to doing.
Yes, ma'am. When I went up to the, to go take my drug test, I had $8 in cash. And I had the remainder on the card. They didn't accept it like that. Currently, at that time, I had, lost my apartment. I was paying.
All right, wait, let me stop you right there. So you are saying that you went to go take your drug test. They were charging you a fee. You only had $8 and they wouldn't accept the rest from a card. Is that what you're telling me?
Ma'am.
All right, probation. Can you have somebody zoom in here?
Yes, sir.
All right, somebody's gonna zoom in. We're gonna find out what's going on with the drug test. All right, thank you. Oh, unless you want to take it. Can I see the parties on Moody?
Harry?
Who's the attorney for Moody?
It's Mr. Kelly Piddle.
Kelly Pickle is on Moody?
Oh,
No,
no, no,
no.
I'm sorry.
I think
That's,
it's the hallway judge, you can grab them quickly.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'll think about it. The other guy. See.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Oh, no problem. All right. So we're back on the record in 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Moody. All right, so we do have Officer Siddell here. Does anyone wish to ask him any questions?
Yes, Judge, if I may.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Michael Seidel, Community Supervision Officer, Bear County CSCD Office, Unit 7.
All right. And to the court reporter, that is spelled Seidel. And could you all not send anything else to the printer since we're by Zoom? All right, you may proceed, defense.
One moment, Judge. Mr. Seidel, do you have any knowledge on whether or not Mr. Moody showed up to get a drug test and was denied the opportunity to do so?
I do not have anything specifically in regards to that.
Judge, I think this might be the wrong witness.
All right. So do you know when he was scheduled for a drug test? Is there any way to check?
Yes, he was, he said that he would submit a drug test that day, April 24th at our meeting.
All right, so is there any way for you to check with the facility to see if he actually submitted or tried to submit a drug test on that day?
They do not have a record of him attempting to submit a drug test that day.
All right, and do they place in a file or something that says he didn't submit or attempt to submit?
Yes, there would be a record here in their database, and there is not.
If someone showed up with the incorrect amount of money, would that be reflected on that database?
No. They would all, in the database, it would be if they tried to submit and didn't, or if they didn't come back or something like that, but not if they didn't have the payment.
Ask the witness.
All right, so that it can be very clear. If someone were to show up for drug testing, do they have to sign in?
Yes.
All right. And if they sign in and don't have money, will it still show up that they actually signed in and appeared?
In what I have access to, I do not have that. It would not show in what I have access to.
But would it show up that he even appeared, regardless of whether he was able to pay or not? Will they take his name down that he actually appeared?
That I don't know.
All right. So Ms. Abrams? When can we,
Judge, so we would have to move this to like a contested hearing. The people from RMS would have to be subpoenaed in order to be here if it's gonna be, we need specifics on that specific day. I did reach out to Mr. Seidel to ask him about the payment situation, whether or not they would take a combination payment, cash and card. And RMS, he did reach out to RMS in regards to that, and it was confirmed that they do not take a combo payment. So
No, they would.
they would,
They would take a combo payment.
okay. I misread the information. So at this point, we would have to set it for contested if you would like us to get RMS here.
all right, any other questions for Officer Seidel?
Not for Officer Bill, Judge, but I just wanted to clarify, it's my understanding that the defendant has said true already to this. point.
Yes.
Not sure if it would be necessary at this point. This one would be.
Well, the issue is, he's saying the reason why, he's pleading true with the explanation. He's saying the reason why he didn't take the drug test is because they wouldn't take a combination payment. He said he had $8 in a card and they told him no. So Officer Seidel is saying they will take combination payments. So if your client wants someone here from the facility, they're probably gonna end up saying, maybe, maybe not, they're gonna probably end up saying they do take combination payments. But since he's pleading true with an explanation and that's his explanation, then we'll get to the bottom of it. So
Hey, Judge.
we'll have them here.
Um,
Yes,
Is, for that,
I'm sorry, what?
I went, like I said, I went up there, and I started with the $8, and they told me I had to have exact payment.
No, 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 no. Let me stop you right there. Your testimony to the court was you had a payment for $8 and you had a card. And you said that they would not take a combination payment. That's what you told the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Officer Seidel is saying, yes, they will take a combination payment. So what we need to do, we'll have somebody zoom in from that facility. And either they're going to tell me they'll accept a combination payment or they won't.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, Ms. Abrams, how much time do you think we need? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this for 2 weeks?
Monday the 23rd.
All right, we'll be back on Monday, the 23rd.
Thank
You
you,
said
Judge.
for a contested, Judge?
No, it's not a contestant. It's just to have a witness zoom in.
Okay.
All right, who's here on Andre Moody? All right, Mr. Moody. Hi,
Good morning.
good morning. All right, are y'all ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, do you have a witness? Counsel, do you have a witness or no?
Judge, I think we're gonna stipulate, we received the records and we're gonna stipulate as to what they contain. The witness is available if need be,
Okay.
and I'm covering today for the attorney of record judge. And Mr. Moody understands that and has agreed that I can.
All right, who's the attorney of record?
Elizabeth.
All right, so here's the problem. I could send him to prison,
Sure.
so his attorney of record probably should be here.
Right. Go off camera, pictures.
Sure.
I just want to speak. So,
Yeah, but we can't speak about your case because she's not gonna hear it today.
okay, yes, ma'am.
So
All right.
on Thursday, okay?
So we'll come back on Thursday, and that will put us at the 26th. Okay,
All right, Judge, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
You're welcome.
All right.
Norma, recall this for the 26th. All right, so it's my understanding he's already pled through
Yes, Judge,
to a violation of condition number 2,
correct.
and that's related to the drug testing.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, and so with regards to the new cases, the new number 1, was that dismissed?
It was rejected, Judge.
Rejected.
And it wasn't part of, my understanding is it was not part of this negotiation for the agreement that we would like the court to accept with the state
Okay,
that was rejected prior to that.
all right. Yes. All right, so, Ms. Abrams, on this, do we have the RMS staff member or no?
No, so. So Judge, the RMS staff via subpoena provided all records and all records were reviewed by the state and by the defense. And it was determined that Mr. Holder did not appear on the date in question.
Okay,
Judge, may I address the court when appropriate
Yes,
about
sure.
that?
okay. All right, who is on this case? Moody? All right. Court is calling 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Alonzo Moody. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Jeannie Cupid for the defendant?
And are you Mr. Moody? All right, so you entered a plea. Could you all please whisper? So you entered a plea of true to violation of condition number 2 on September 9th. The state waived all other allegations. The court found violation of condition number 2 true. And the case was recalled for today because you had given testimony about calling in or appearing for a drug test. So have both parties received records from RMS?
Yes, Your Honor.
And have you all had a chance to review it?
Yes.
So off the record, in the presence of everyone, probation has informed me that there's no record through RMS that he actually appeared, and defense, you wanted to address that.
Yes, Judge. At the prior hearing, I was not present attorney on that date. There was some confusion about whether we were talking about his appearance in March for not appearing, but he had pled true to April. So he was giving testimony about appearing and splitting a payment with regards to a visit he recalled from March. When I started visiting with him and corrected the date and said, actually, what you pled to true to was failure to drug test in April, the defendant informed me that he did not go in April, that he had been, has had financial difficulties. And so there was no question, and we don't want this court to think that he is representing that he did try to go in April, because he wants the court to know that he did not go in April and that he in fact failed to report. Any question about appearing and a partial payment and not being able to do that was with regards to what he recalled was a March test, and that's not what's before the court today. So my client is pleading true. He did not go in April to test. And when appropriate, I would like to share some information with the court that I've learned in visiting with Mr. Moody over the last couple of weeks, that we would ask the court take into consideration when reviewing his case this morning. So do you want me to do that now, Judge? Judge, in meeting with Mr. Moody, his is a case where it's never an excuse, and he wants to address the court directly, and I've advised him you will allow him to do that. But he shared with me, he originally is from California. He has 2 daughters who are 5 and 7. He resides with the mother of those daughters, and their relationship is not the best. And that's, in my opinion, why he's here today. The court knows about the new number 1 that was ultimately rejected. 2019, his sister passed away. 2020, his mother took her own life. 2022, his father passed away. He has 1 remaining sister he has no contact with. Mr. Moody, this is his second MTR. The first MTR was not before this court. It was before another judge, and he was continued at that time. The court brought him in January, and you told him, Judge, you better buckle down and you better get a job and you better start, showing an effort. And I think the record will reflect he got a job as a cook working at Hooters on the Ingram Park location. He lives in Universal City. So transportation and money are his issue, Judge. He has a vehicle. It's not been reliable. There's no bus service where he lives. So when he has to report, he has to either Uber, and he has to have the money to do that, or to take a bus. I think he will address that he is, he's not been formally diagnosed with depression, but Judge, in my just talking with him, he understands what's going on, but I think he suffers depression and losing 3 of his family members. They were the only support that he had, and he lost all of them in a short span of time. And he had tested at the beginning of April. He had appeared. He didn't think that he didn't know, but he didn't realize that they would call him back so soon. It was like 2 weeks later, I think on the 24th, that he was called to test. He didn't have the Uber money. He didn't have the money to drug test. And so he just got depressed, frustrated, and he did not appear. That's never an excuse, Judge, and I know he wants to address the court. But I know you will take those factors into consideration, not as an excuse, but in the totality of looking at his case.
All right. You want to call him as a witness?
Yes,
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Andre Alonzo Moody.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Moody, have you requested that you be permitted to address the board today?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were here last time, the judge asked a very important question. She said, "Why should I continue you on probation?" Would you like to address that question for the court?
Yes, ma'am. First off, I want to say, I messed up. Got my daughters here, my 2 daughters, and that's everything for me. Everything I do, I try to do everything the right way. I know that it doesn't seem like I'm learning, but I'm trying, Ms. Boyd. I acquired my license. I never had a license. I've been trying to get myself together to be to successfully complete this probation, and I've been trying to do everything the right way. I try to steady myself. I try to take care of my family. I struggle with financial. Nothing that none of the stipulations have anything to do with me not doing it. It's just I haven't had money. I don't have no help. Everything is through me. I'm my own support. I've been here with my baby mom for about 8 years. We've been trying to get it together and work it out and fix it. I work and support. It's just I can't. I don't have no help. You know what I mean? Classes, the outpatient program. I've made an effort, even from University City, to complete those classes. I walked from University City to make sure I wouldn't violate that. At times, sometimes I had the money, sometimes I didn't. And my biggest problem is money. You know, like I don't have no help, boy. So when I fall, it's hard for me to recover. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest issue. It's not doing it. It's not trying to disobey you or anything. I believe this probation has been helping me. The BIB class that I was in, I felt like it was real helpful because a lot of people in there, a lot of the guys, they share their experiences with you, and like you can learn from them, you know. And it was cool. It was a cool class. Like everybody's talking to each other. And like I learned a lot, even though I was only in there for 3 weeks. And the reason why I didn't complete the bill is because of financial. I missed one payment and then it doubled. And I called the class and I asked them. I told them I really liked the class. I really appreciate it. I'm just struggling financially. I don't have the money to pay that $50. And then when you miss again, it's $100. I just didn't have the money for it. I apologize. I want to do better. I'm trying. My daughter is my everything. That's what I do everything for. And I don't want to go to prison, of course. You know, I think that I've been here 4 months, and I've had time to, you know, think and just sit back. I felt like God gave me a chance, but really at one point when all those things happened, I didn't want to be there. You know, I didn't want to live, and I don't know what happened, but I felt like God was working through me, and I want to be better in this sport. Like I said, I said to myself, I don't really mess with people, you know, alone. The only thing I do is take care of my family. I try to go to work whenever I can, whenever I get there. I did get my license. So I did get a car. The timing belt on my car broke. I couldn't move around anymore. That was my transportation. You know, I was in Universal City, so there's no buses out there, no transportation. But I don't want to make no excuses. But I know I can do better. Give me an opportunity, another chance to do so and improve it.
State, any questions?
Briefly, Judge, Mr. Moody, sounds to me like your argument that you're trying to make is the financial stability, and the lack of support. I may have missed, it. Did you say, are you employed?
Not right now. No, sir, I've been here 4 months, so the job that I did have, I lost.
And what was the job that you had before?
Hooters,
Hooter,
as a cook,
as a cook, and how long were you working at Hooter?
for about 3 years.
So,
Yes.
so with the job at Hooters, you could not maintain yourself?
It wasn't that, it was, I had just recently started back working there. It's been off and on for years. I just recently started working back, when I was, in jail in August last year. So I just got that job back because, I used to work at the Rivers, at Rivers Cinema. And, my previous manager there, seen me and he said that they needed help.
Okay, let me stop you. So everyone, let's land the plane. So here's my question. So my understanding from reading the case summary, which nobody objected to me reading at the last hearing, is that probation was recommending revocation. And the reason why they were recommending revocation was because of a new number one. My understanding is that new number one has been rejected.
That's correct.
So is there a new number one out there other than that?
Not that we're aware of.
All right, so according to the court summary, it says probationer was arrested. And it's the same complainant, same offense. That's why they want revocation. But then that case has been rejected by the state. So now my other question is, then we're only here because of a UA.
Correct.
So state, are you still asking for revocation?
So I think the agreement for him to plead with number two is to continue on probation, straight probation. So they would enter a citation appeal, placing on
6.
6/6. That was the agreement that was made before.
And so here's my other issue with this. He has been on probation since 2020.
Yes.
All right. And so he's basically on probation from 2020 for 9 years. Am I correct?
Yes.
Probation? Are you all still recommending revocation?
Judge, I have to defer to the court.
Okay. All right, so this is what I'm telling you. The state rejected that case for whatever reason they rejected it for. I don't know. It wasn't before the court. But it appears to me that your relationship with the complainant, that will be no more. that relationship is over. If you want to have a relationship with her, you can. And what that will result in is I will revoke you. You can go to prison. And then when you get out of prison, you can have a relationship with whomever you want. But if you wish to stay on probation in this court, there's to be no more contact with her.
Because she is the mother of his children, so can we clarify?
No contact with her. If he wants to have visitation with the children, then it needs to be through a third party. There's to be no letters to her. There's to be no, I'm sorry. If you have clothes with her, then what will end up happening? You'll have to get a third party to go pick up your items. And my suggestion is that there be a police escort for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll deny the motion, alter and amend conditions. There's going to be partial GPS, waive fees, and GPS for employment only. And there's to be no contact with Siobhan, Chavon Sims. And I'm going to keep him on deferred adjudication. However, if you remain on deferred adjudication, if you come back before the court, the full range of punishment will be open to the court, which is up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe you all have reached an agreement where it was going to be, what, 6? So the agreement that you had reached with them was that if you were revoked, the most you could be sentenced to is 6 years in the prison. But I'm keeping you on deferred. And if you are revoked, you're looking at the full 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. And how are we going to address the issues with class? The funding? I don't know.
Judge, I'm not sure, we'll have to do a financial analysis of those particular classes have to be paid for, we can't wait for them,
Okay.
so.
So then, what we'll have to do and what you'll have to do as an adult, and this is adulting, you're going to have to do some research to see if there's any type of programs that will help you with funding for your classes. Legally, you have to take that class. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Watch, we're on the scene. Truths unravel, and what does it mean? In the halls where stories clash, Uchikoro watch quick as a flash.